Hello, this is Archie Dunlop with Talking Astrology with Archie on Friday, March the 17th, 2023. I'm going to keep it pretty brief today, you'll be pleased to hear. I'm really mainly going to talk about today's stars, though I did want to make a reference to an important anniversary, March the 17th. March the 17th was the day in which the Emperor Marcus Aurelius died. He died on March the 17th, 180 AD. And I kind of sympathize with him. I'm really cold, but nothing like as cold as Marcus Aurelius probably was when he died. He was fighting these invading tribes he died in Vienna, perhaps Bratislava, somewhere around there, in this godforsaken camp in a bog. God, you can imagine March the 17th in Central Europe, probably pretty grim. And so, yeah, I can really sympathize with him. And Marcus Aurelius is considered to be a good emperor, a great emperor. He was a philosopher. He was a Stoic, and he was also a Taurus. And some Taurians have a very down-to-earth approach. They see life for what it is. We're here, we're on this planet, it's perhaps pretty miserable. We have our short time on the earth and then we just go. And, can we really think about an afterlife? I think Tauruses can be very spiritual, but they can also be just very down to earth. Shakespeare was a Taurus. And sometimes with Shakespeare, you really think that Shakespeare was an atheist. He kind of reduces things to the root cause and talks about the complete hopelessness of things, how we spin our wheels, but it's all for nothing, and then we die. Marcus Aurelius had a similar approach. He said something like, yesterday a drop of sperm, tomorrow a handful of ash or incense. In other words, we're born yesterday, we're conceived yesterday, tomorrow we're going to be consumed by flames and we're going to just be a handful of incense. That's how in Rome they burnt people. It's just very short. And Marcus Aurelius further said that we're all going to get forgotten. Even if we're famous, okay, we're going to have monuments put up for us, but in the end, those monuments will be forgotten. Of course, Marcus Aurelius is doing a pretty good job. He's been dead for nearly 2,000 years and we're still talking about him. But in the end, he will be forgotten. And indeed, we will all be forgotten. And so what the hell do we do? I suppose we make the most of our life because we can't guarantee that anything is going to come after it. It's so tempting to think that it's all a waste of time. Now, Marcus Aurelius's death was kind of symbolic of the decline of the Roman Empire. His son took over from him, Commodus, and Commodus was a disaster, and from then on it was all downhill for Rome. Interestingly, on that day that Marcus Aurelius died, there was an exact Mars-Saturn conjunction. As I keep saying, Mars and Saturn are the death pair. That really was the death knell of the Roman Empire. So keep that in mind. When you look at the United States, I think that the decline of the United States has been going on for some time, probably since the fall of communism. But, America, like Rome, is not going to last forever. It's kind of got a similar lifespan. Rome, the Roman Empire, when Emperor Augustus took over, within a couple of centuries, Rome was in decline. America's already a couple of centuries old. So fit for decline, it is declining. And indeed, I think the West is declining. And I think we can see this astrologically as well. But I'm not going to talk about that today. As I said, I'm not going to ramble. So let's now look at today's stars. So let's see, nearly there. There we are. Oh, well, in fact, that is actually the horoscope for the death of Marcus Aurelius. There you can see the Mars-Saturn conjunction. Now, as far as today is concerned, there are some important sign changes. We see the moon going into Aquarius, conjunct Pluto. We see Venus moving into Taurus. We also see this continued chaos here with the Sun, Mercury, Neptune conjunction is still very much in force, and Mars is still there. It's squaring this conjunction. In fact, Mars is square the Mercury-Neptune midpoint. I would see Mars square the Mercury-Neptune midpoint as perhaps overreacting to confuse news. So we might hear something and just completely misunderstand what we've heard and then just do something stupid. So if you get a message that seems dramatic, don't act immediately. It's possible the message is wrong. It's possible you've misunderstood it. It's possible you haven't read the message properly. So do bear that in mind. So, okay, on a more positive note, Venus going into Taurus I think it's really good news, because Venus is the ruler of Taurus, and so when it goes into Taurus, I think that many of us are going to have better artistic sense. It's a better time for making choices about decor and art and what looks good and what looks bad. I mean, I won't be following that advice because my taste is always bad. But if you want to beautify yourself or beautify the place you live, now might be the time to do it. Also, Venus is moving to a conjunction of the North Node, and the North Node is about social contacts. It's also about karma and past lives and stuff like that. So if you believe in reincarnation, then over the next few days you actually have a chance to meet your soulmate. You might meet someone who you have a strong irrational connection with. It doesn't make sense, but it's there, and it'll be very obvious. So be open to that, and you can have a karmic connection of someone who isn't just a romantic partner. It can be a business partner, it can be a friend, but someone is coming into your life, into our life, who is going to be important, and we're going to feel that somehow we've met before. So look out for that opportunity. So I've ended on a fairly fortunate note. I just don't overreact when you get news. The news could be wrong, but be open to the possibility that you really can meet someone special, and I certainly mean that. Okay, so that's all I've got. That's all I'm going to say for today. As I said, I'm going to keep it brief, and I will talk to you tomorrow.